Hi everyone, welcome to my vlog, and for today's video, I will be sharing with you some information about the communication breakdown. But before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Altea Julin Morales from Laguna Senior High School, and I am from Section STEM 11 Hockey. Aside from sharing some information about the communication breakdown, let us have a recap on what we have discussed in the previous lesson, which are the models of communication. In communication, we have three models, which are the linear model, interactive model, and transactional model. Let me discuss it to you one by one. First model of communication is linear communication, wherein a linear communication is a one-way process of communication wherein the speaker or the sender doesn't receive any feedbacks. Example of this is when an MC is speaking in front of a crowd. The second model of communication is what we call interactive communication. In an interactive communication or interactive model of communication, it is a two-way process wherein the sender gives message to the receiver and then the receiver gives its feedback. Example of this is when you're in a phone call to your friend or loved ones where you exchange your messages through a medium or through a channel. The last model of communication is what we call the transactional model of communication. In transactional model of communication, it shows a circular process of interaction between people in a communication. Example of this is when you are in a group study and you're sharing your opinions, ideas, and suggestions without being distracted or without being interrupted by the noise or barriers that surrounds you. Now, let me tell you what is the real meaning of communication breakdown.
Communication breakdown may occur when you're talking to someone and a person or a thing distracted you from communicating. It can also cause a lot of unpleasant situations between you and the person you're talking to.
Under the communication breakdown, we also have the barriers to communication, and let me discuss it to you one by one. We have 5 barriers to communications, which are the physical barriers, the psychological barriers, the cultural barriers, linguistic barriers, and the physiological barriers.
Physical barriers are the natural or environmental barriers. Examples are noise coming from construction sites, loud sounds of karaoke, and vehicle horns. The psychological barriers are referring to social and personal issues of a speaker towards communicating to others. Examples are trauma, shyness, or lack of confidence, depression, and fear or stage fright. Cultural barriers pertains to communication problems by people regarding their beliefs and traditions in conflict with others. Examples are different beliefs, traditions, manners, and speaking. Linguistic barriers pertain conflicts with regards to language and word meanings. Examples are difference in language, accent, and dialect. Physiological barriers means our body is not at its best condition. Example is if you're having a toothache or diarrhea, you cannot communicate well.
After giving those examples to the barriers of communication, do you understand what I mean when I talk about the communication breakdown? If yes, then I'm glad that you learned something from it. But if not, feel free to look back on what I have discussed earlier. Let us now proceed to the classifications of noise or the classification of barriers. We have 3 classifications of barriers or noise, which are the internal noise, the external noise, and the semantic noise. Let me discuss it to you one by one.
Internal noise, the thoughts and feelings that interfere with meaning. Examples are confrontations and fear of speaking. External noise, stimuli that draws people's attentions. Examples are dog barks and loudspeakers. Semantic noise are alternate meaning aroused by the speaker's symbol. Example is when a word has another meaning to a person's mind, such as incorrect grammar.
Always remember that the communication breakdown is all about the misunderstanding between two people who's distracted because of the barriers that surrounds them. Recognizing the barriers to an effective communication helps us to avoid communication breakdown, and it also helps for us not to be distracted about the barriers that surrounds us while we are having communication with other people. And that's for today's vlog. Thank you for watching and hope to see you guys soon. Bye!